Welcome to the 2017-18 Freer ISD Volunteer Orientation. I am Frances Bettis, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction for Freer ISD. Before we go any further into the contents of the volunteer orientation, on behalf of Freer ISD, I would like to thank you for your personal decision to volunteer at our schools. Time is often something that we can't seem to have enough of. Spending it on our children and in our schools is appreciated. Whether you give a whole lot of your time or even just a little, it goes a long way. Again, thank you. So the objectives for the volunteer orientation. Why are we here? There are two main purposes for why we are conducting a volunteer orientation. The first objective is to provide all volunteers across the district with an overview of district expectations and requirements. Secondly, to ensure the safety of all children at Freer ISD. In order to be a volunteer at Freer ISD, there is a process. First, an application needs to be filled out. Along with that, permission for a criminal history check has to be given. Then there is an orientation. If you attend the face-to-face orientation, then that will suffice. Otherwise, you have to watch the orientation that is accessible online as you are doing today and fill out an acknowledgement form stating that you did watch the orientation. There are countless volunteer opportunities at Freer ISD. Some of those opportunities could include helping out with lunch duty, after school duty, bus duty, timed reading with students, making copies, creating bulletin boards, helping out at field day, attending a field trip, graduation ceremonies, swimming lessons, other programs, Destination Imagination, and UIL. These are just some. There are various other opportunities that may be campus specific. Communication is extremely important. Communicate with the campus administration. There may be some things you are really good at doing, so volunteer opportunities in some areas where you feel most comfortable would be best. There may be some things you are not comfortable with doing, so there might be some volunteer opportunities that you would not enjoy. In any case, communicate with the campus administration so we find opportunities that are right for you. Before volunteering, here are some questions you may want to ask. Parking. Perhaps there is designated parking for volunteers. Dress code. Often campuses have designated dress-up days to help celebrate an event or spread awareness on a particular topic. Being aware of such will help you feel like part of the campus. Campus events. It would be a good idea to know if there are any events taking place at the campus. Sometimes such events will signify changes to the regular routine. We want to stress student safety to our volunteers. Student safety is Freer ISD's #1 priority. With this in mind, please keep safety at the forefront as we discuss the following points. Playgrounds can be a lot of fun for children. However, they are also a place where someone can get hurt. When on a playground, position yourself where you can see everyone. If there is more than one person, it is best to separate so that one person is in one area and the other is in the opposite area, constantly watching our students to ensure safety. Parking lots can be dangerous because there are cars pulling in and out of spaces. Blind spots can be missed. We ask that people use the guided crosswalks and designated drop-off lines to ensure student safety. Safety drills are practiced across the district, from monthly fire drills to random or announced lockdown drills. If you are volunteering at a campus, you may want to inquire about safety drill practices. Allergies are common. If you are volunteering in food services or in a classroom with students, it would be a good idea to ask if anyone has allergies that you need to be made aware of. Medication: only our nurses or the parent of the student are allowed to dispense medication while at school. Freer ISD core beliefs and values. A student is the most important person at any school. A student is not an interruption of our work. He or she is the purpose of it. A student is not just a statistic. He or she is a flesh and blood human being with feelings and emotions like us. A student is one who comes to us with needs and or wants. It is our job to fill them. A student is deserving of the most courteous and attentive treatment that we can provide. A student is the lifeblood of the Freer Independent School District. Without him or her, we would have to close our doors. At Freer ISD, we will never put the comfort of adults ahead of the best interest of our students. Procedures help schools maintain a safe and orderly environment. Safety takes time, and sometimes it may feel like there just isn't enough time. We ask that you please cooperate with us, as it's those little measures that we take that can make a difference for the safety of all. Sign in and sign out. That helps to let the office know you are there. Ask questions like the ones that were mentioned in a previous slide about parking, dress code, and other events that are taking place at the school. When in doubt about anything, ask. Reporting. Educators are obligated to report suspicion of abuse or neglect within 48 hours. If you see or hear something that concerns you, please report it. The principal or superintendent can make sure such information is relayed to proper authorities and documented. Freer ISD has a tip line, 361-247-2138. Any concerns can be called into the tip line anonymously and addressed accordingly. Social media is very popular. Most people have a Facebook, Twitter, or Snapchat account. When you are a school volunteer, you can take pictures of your child only. You must have written permission documented at school to photograph or post pictures or videos of anyone else's child when you are volunteering. Language. Use appropriate language when working at the schools. Curse words are not appropriate under any circumstances. Attire. Follow the staff dress code as closely as possible. Communicate with the campus principal about what the staff dress code is. Here are some visuals of appropriate and inappropriate attire. The first picture is an example of appropriate attire. The second example is a picture of a t-shirt that would not be appropriate to use in a volunteer setting. The third picture is also an example of inappropriate school volunteer attire. And the last picture demonstrates appropriate attire for school volunteer. If you have additional questions about appropriate and inappropriate attire, please visit with your campus principal. Monitoring classrooms. Classrooms should always have one adult present. Supervision is critical, and this goes for classrooms in elementary all the way through high school. Confidentiality. Student information is private and must remain that way. In the office area, school business is being conducted constantly. Please keep in mind that student information is private and must remain that way. Questions. If you have any questions, please contact the campus principal or director for the area you are volunteering. If you have suggestions or would like to see some specific information covered in this volunteer orientation, please use the contact information on the screen. There are 3 items that are needed in order to be a volunteer at Freer ISD. Anyone who would like to volunteer will need to follow the process. There's a volunteer application that will need to be filled out and submitted. Along with that, there will be a consent for criminal history check. Lastly, there is an orientation. So the expectation is to watch this pre-recorded video of the information presented. Sign the acknowledgement form that is also found here on the website and then submit to the superintendent's office. Once all 3 are completed and cleared, you will then be able to volunteer at Freer ISD. K-cost pre-K. If you will be volunteering in pre-K classrooms, there is additional information and requirements you need to be aware of. Please let your pre-K teacher know if you would like to volunteer in the pre-K classrooms.